just maybe I could do as well as or better if I worked for myself. Welcome to Job Tips, the career development channel. Kind of laid back today. I'm actually vacationing with my daughter and son-in-law and grandkids and my wife in beautiful North and South Carolina and Florida for the next couple of weeks. I normally hail out of Alaska, but at the time of this recording, it's cold in Alaska, and frankly, I enjoy the warmer weather. So we're here for a couple of weeks. But listen, this video, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about if you should decide to go into business for yourself, in a small business, maybe you work for somebody else right now and you have great pay, great benefits, good retirement, and so forth. But maybe you see some writing on the wall or, possibilities that corporate changes may be coming down the pike. You get a sense that your job may be in jeopardy, or maybe you're just tired of the grind. You're tired of the career path that you're on, towing the company line, dealing with presentations and answering to the vice presidents and general management and so on and so forth. Finding yourself sort of always having to be concerned that you're impressing people to the extent that the good word gets up the ladder about you, and that kind of thing, where you're sort of not just working for the man, but you're also working to impress others so that they can say good things about you to ensure that your career goes well and advancements come your way, those sorts of things. Some people sort of get tired of that, and you wonder, is there a way out of this? Well, maybe you went to school and you got your MBA, and now you got that dream job, the company car, the expense account, the travel, all the goodies. But then you also find you get all the stress and the pressure that comes along with that as well. And you think, maybe, just maybe I could do as well as or better if I worked for myself. Maybe you should consider self-employment, but you're just not sure what direction to take. So this just is a bit of a monologue to share with you some things to kind of consider. So let's say you're not quite sure what kind of business you want to start. Maybe it's a small business of sorts where you want to be a solo operator in a service truck, and there are hundreds of different types of opportunities, or maybe a landscaping company, or there's a bird in the background, or or any kind of business. And you're not quite sure, exactly if the business idea that you're thinking of today is what you're going to want to do 10 or 15 years down the road. That's okay. Don't let your heart be troubled and find yourself in sort of analysis paralysis, because the business idea that you may have today may turn into something a year, 5 years, 10 years down the road. It may be a related kind of business, different than when it started. You don't know, right? Maybe it's a business that just sort of morphs over time into something else. Because here's what happens. On one hand, necessity is the mother of invention. But at the same time, once you start a business, many sort of offshoots from that business can come, or ideas that start developing because of your experience in growing this right here. Other ideas sort of come over time, and it sort of transforms into something else later down the road. So you'll be amazed what happens to your creativity once you take that leap, and you, through some consideration and planning and consultation with maybe others in the business community, perhaps a counselor, a guy, I'll say like a business counselor or a consultant who can serve you well. You start a business. Don't worry about what it looks like 5 or 10 years down the road. The key is to start. And I'll tell you something. There are very few things that give you the same feeling of freedom, flexibility, literal ownership, than being your own boss. Even if you start a business and you're not able to pay yourself as much as you earned in your corporate career initially, but over time it comes. And even if it doesn't happen even over time, let's say you're making a really strong salary, but working for yourself, where you're kind of down here, but you're well within what you can afford to live on and have extra in the bank and invest and so on. You don't always have to make the same money that you made in your corporate career. You might make substantially more, right? Depending on how the business develops, unfolds, and so on. But the idea of being unchained, sort of untethered, where the golden handcuffs have been broken and you're now free to do your own thing and to be your own person. My story, I'll tell you briefly, is I worked for a Fortune 300 company for many years, and several years ago was part of a 2,000 employee layoff, the first wave, and then 800 more people, and then 200 or 300 more people over a 2-year period, roughly, of time. Over 3,000 people went away, and the job that I had was among those positions that gone. And so I decided, I'm going to do my own thing. I don't want to go into another corporate career, though I was paid extremely well, had a strong foundation, I thought, but it all went away in one phone call, right? You don't know how often that's going to happen, maybe again and again and again. And at some point, you become pretty much, you're too young to retire, but too old to be hired, depending on the level within the corporation that you are in. If you're at the CEO or senior executive vice president level, age, the white hair kind of thing, the sagginess, may not be a big deal. But if you're not at that super senior level, it can be a big deal. And companies, understandably so, look for younger, more vibrant, maybe quicker thinking, more into the current technologies, lesser pay requirement type of people, not just fresh out of college, but maybe a few years out of college, but certainly not somebody who's got a 20 or 30 year salary history of growth that needs to be, paid out. So companies, unfortunately, do make changes based on some of those needs that they have financially. Well, you find yourself in that situation of being laid off again, maybe, and again, and again, perhaps. And I've known people for whom that has occurred. So to prevent that from happening, oftentimes people will find themselves working for themselves at whatever kind of company you decide to start. Whether it's a larger corporation where you bring in investors and you start something big, or a small service company, frankly, mowing grass and then ending up with 7, 8, or 10 trucks and crews of people. Maybe you are going to go into carpet cleaning, maybe a window washing company, maybe a janitorial company, perhaps a seal coat, blacktop type of service company, a concrete person. Believe me, these are businesses, they are legitimate businesses that pay extremely well if you as a business person move the company in a trajectory that gets you to higher levels of success and financial independence. In other words, not staying the guy or gal on the truck if you're choosing something like that. Maybe it's a plumbing company. Maybe it's an HVAC, which is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Maybe it's a painting contractor. If you are just the owner-operator who's doing all the work, you can make a good living. But if you maintain a businessman's mindset or a businesswoman's mindset, a business person's mindset, we are in 2021 or 22, 23, 24, whenever you're watching this video, maybe it's 2030 when you're watching it, who knows? Point is, maintain a business owner mindset and you'll expand the business bigger and bigger and bigger to the extent that you're able to handle it and make even a lot more money. And be back at the executive corporate level, but within your own company. Isn't that cool? And you don't ever have to wonder, will your career come to an end at the end of a phone call ever again? Yes, you will lose some customers. You gain customers and you lose customers, but your career won't be at the end of a phone call at the decision of 1 or 2 people to say, we're gonna fire that person, this person, this person, this person, this person, and you. And you're like, whoa, where did that come from, right? Because it's your baby now. Well, I hope this helps you a little bit. This is sort of an impromptu, no fancy lighting, no fancy backdrops. Well, there's a piano behind me. My daughter plays piano. But I just wanted to share this thought because it came to me and I just thought this is something that I really want the world to hear because it can benefit you. I've known too many people over the years of my life, and I'm a white-haired, bald-headed old man that has experienced a lot. And I've known a lot of people who have been impacted by these kinds of things. And I've seen people in tears, not knowing, where do I go from here? What do I do? So hopefully this gives you some inspiration to either make those changes now or soon or before something like that happens to you, or at least have a game plan as a backup in your hip pocket, as a what if scenario, and start thinking about what will you do should that happen. Okay, nothing is guaranteed, but if you have a backup plan, you can be much more comfortable in your future. Well, that's it. I do hope you enjoy this channel. I really would appreciate it if you would subscribe, come back often, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Share it with your friends, tell people about us. It's you who support the channel in those ways that help us grow. And over time, you know what, we'll have millions and millions of subscribers, and well, who knows? We don't know, right? But your individual subscription and sharing this with others is what will help us get there, so we can spread the word of this concept, this job tips genre of YouTube videos. And I tell you, I believe that building your career can also be not just within a company that somebody else hires you into, but you make your own career by building your own business. If you don't have a job, make a job. If you want a better job, you can make a job. And that's what this video is all about. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.